Lisa Alter Ego officially debuts at 7 on this week's Billboard 200 Albums chart. It's the highest peaking project by a K-pop act this year. She is the third K-pop female soloist to enter the top 10 in history. Jennie continues to chart 8 songs from Ruby on global Spotify chart. It's the first album by a female K-pop soloist to do so. Jennie is the first and only female K-pop soloist to spend multiple days on the top 10 Spotify Global Artist chart. Apathy spends its 20th week in the top 10 on Melon Weekly chart at 8. Rosé and Bruno Mars Apathy is back at number 1 on YouTube United States Daily Top Music Videos chart. Apathy has now spent 76 days at number 1, the most for any music video on the said YouTube US Daily chart. Jisoo Earthquake has reached number 1 on the Lebanon Deezer chart. Lisa's Alter Ego Explicit and Alter Ego Original Track List are the number 8 and number 10 best-selling albums on Qobuz in the past 7 days. Like Jennie by Jennie reaches a new peak of 11 on the global Spotify chart with 3 million streams. It also reaches a new peak of 62 on the US Spotify chart with 500,000 streams. And Jennie, like Jennie, remains at number 1 for a second consecutive day on the YouTube South Korea Daily Top Music Videos chart. Lisa's Fuck Up the World debuts at 19 on the global YouTube Weekly Top Songs chart with over 18 million streams. In the latest global YouTube Weekly Top Music Videos, Lisa debuted at 14 with FUTW, gaining 13 million streams, and at 41 with Born Again featuring Doja Cat and Ray, which has 7 million streams. Rosé and Bruno Mars Apathy is back at number 1 on the YouTube Global Daily Top Music Videos chart. Apathy has now spent 133 days at number 1 on the chart, extends its record as the music video with the most days at number 1. Jennie has reached a new peak of 44 million monthly listeners on Spotify. Apathy has returned to number 1 on UK iTunes nearly 5 months after its release. Rosie and Bruno Mars Apathy remains at 6 on this week's Billboard Hot 100, extending its record as the longest-running top 10 hit by a female K-pop act in history. It's now just 1 week away from tying PSY's Gangnam Style as the longest-running top 10 hit by a K-pop soloist in history. Apathy remains at number 1 on Billboard Global XL US for 17th week, the most for any song in history. It remains at number 2 on Global 200 with over 100 million streams globally. Rosie now ties BTS as the second artist in history with the most weeks at number 1 on Billboard Global XL US. Jisoo's Earthquake is now streaming on NRJ Hit Music only. This is the first Korean solo song to be released on France's number 1 radio station since PSY's Gangnam Style. Amortage by Jisoo has surpassed 90 million plays on YouTube Music. Like Jennie currently has the second biggest day of sales by a female K-pop soloist on Spotify US, surpassing Toxic till the end. Lisa's Alter Ego debuts at 5 on this week's Switzerland Albums chart, becoming the highest charting album by a female K-pop act in history. Alter Ego rises to number 3 on the iTunes Worldwide Album chart. It has never left the top 5 since its release. Jennie's Ruby has now spent a full day inside the top 10 on US Apple Music, becoming the first album by a K-pop soloist to achieve this in history. Ruby is now the second biggest day for a K-pop solo album on Spotify Global in 2025, surpassing Alter Ego. Lisa Alter Ego debuts at 31 on this week's Billboard Top Streaming Albums. She joins Rosé, Jungkook, and Jimin as the only K-pop act to enter this chart, and Lisa re-enters the Billboard Artist 100 chart this week at a new peak of 8. Lisa also debuts 2 tracks on the Billboard Global XL US chart this week. Lisa FUTW debuts at 25 on the Billboard Global 200. Lisa's debuted FUTW and Rapunzel on the Billboard Rap Digital Song Sales chart this week at number 6 and at number 9 respectively. She now has 4 charts entries. Lisa's Fuck Up the World debuts at 20 on the Billboard Hot Rap Songs chart, her second chart entry. Also, FUTW debuts at 24 on the Billboard Digital Song Sales Chart, her sixth chart entry. Lisa's Born Again officially re-enters for a second week charting on the Billboard Hot 100, Lisa's second song to spend multiple weeks on the chart. Lisa's Born Again has now surpassed 100 million streams on Spotify. It is Lisa's eighth song to do so. She is tied with IU for most songs surpassing 100 million among female K-pop soloists. Highest debuting female album on Spotify Global in 2025. Alter Ego on number 4. Ruby by Jennie on number 3. So Close to What by Tate McRae on number 2. Mayhem by Lady Gaga on number 1. Biggest album debuts for K-pop soloist in Spotify history. Face by Jimin on number 10. Jack in the Box by J-Hope on number 9. Layover by BTSV on number 8. D-Day by Suga on number 7. Indigo by RM on number 6. Alter Ego by Lisa on number 5. Muse by Jimin on number 4. Ruby by Jennie on number 3. Rosie by Rosé on number 2. Golden by Jungkook on number 1. Biggest song debuted on global Spotify in 2025. Biggest album debut streaming week by a female rapper on Spotify.